Your decision to leave Chicago Hope, it really, from what I read, it wasn't that tough. It was really getting in the way of your family and you and your boys and, and all that, huh?
Yeah, I loved it. I loved the people. It was great seeing everybody today. But they're just, the way David and I started working together, David Kelly and I, and collaborating, and the way the part took off, and we both loved it, but it was night and day, 24 hours a day, 8 days a week, and there was no time for the needs of my kids and my wife.
Didn't one of your boys come out here to visit you and it didn't go so well?
He did. He came out. Isaac came out. We had to cancel 5 different family visits. At one point, Isaac was coming out, and we tried to do it when it was going to be a slow time. But the nature of one-hour drama television is there
is no slow time.
You know, David Kelly said on the first day, to use the train metaphor, he said it's a train that starts and doesn't stop till the season's over, and you can't get off. And Isaac came, and that episode that week was late in coming. I was busy learning that one. We were shooting that. We were finishing shooting the one before. There were reshoots for 2 other episodes. We were doing 4 at once. Isaac and I never saw each other the whole week. We'd have a cup of cocoa over at Jerry's Deli, you know, at midnight. And he went home in tears, and I was in tears. And he thought we were coming out. We checked out all the schools and everything. And he made a comment. He said, listen, I know we're going out there, so let's not even talk about it because it's all about fame and fortune. So I know we're going out there. And we said, Isaac, we don't know that. We're going to see how it works.
But that's something for a father to hear from a 12-year-old son. Well, it's all about fame and fortune. Maybe a light goes on in Dad's head.
You bet. I mean, they put it on the nose. As you know, when they speak, it's you don't need any
decoders. Right.
Decoders. It's crystal clear. And Kath and I had made an agreement that when the season was over, Catherine, my wife, we would sit and talk and figure it out as a family. And we made this decision as a family. And the boys just broke down. And I can only tell you that as much as I miss my TV family, it has been the most watershed event for my family. The appreciation that they have had, that a decision on a major level was made for them. And the fact that it was public and everything, I'm sure, enhanced it. But those of you at home, you can make your decisions and it doesn't need to be public. And the greater lesson was, because many people can have families, this was an individual decision, and do that kind of work, and do it very well. I couldn't. It was a personal thing. I couldn't do both.
Well, as Stephen Sondheim once said about Mandy Patinkin, that he is meticulous to the point of madness. You truly were a perfectionist in your work, and you wanted everything to be absolutely flawless. You say used to be, but there was a time when you were very tough on yourself.
Absolutely, and those were hard times, and it was from those hard times that I had certain things happen. For instance, I was fired from Heartburn, and replaced by Jack Nicholson. And you tear apart those times. You spend a year looking at it. And,
that was Mike Nichols' film, wasn't it?
Mike Nichols.
And didn't he want Nicholson all the time, but thought he couldn't get him?
Yes, he wanted Jack from the beginning.
And you knew it.
I knew it, and neither one of our behaviors were at their best all through it. And the lessons I learned from that were great. You know, the minute I was fired, I took my son down to Disney World so I could get away. And then I came back and I started figuring it out. And several years later, I've gotten together with Mike several times, and I said, I forgive you, and I forgive myself, and I hope you forgive me. And
which, by the way, is good, huh? In our business, where grudges can be held forever.
It was great to, you know, because I was angry, and what good does it do? And it was a wonderful feeling. But the greater lessons also were to trust myself. If I have opinions, I learned when I was younger then that don't feel that I can't express my opinions and that they aren't valid. And so I learned a lot of great lessons. I thought Meryl Streep and Mike Nichols, how could I say no? Well, I didn't want to do it from the first, and I should have said that.
And they wanted somebody else from the first?
And they wanted someone else, so from that time forth, if you were to call me for a job and I have thoughts about it, I'd talk before we get to the gate. And it's great. And it is those kinds of events that I feel, you know, you talk about like, oh, was it hard? Did it hurt you? I don't know who I'd be today without it. It is completely one of the most shapeful moments of my life. And the same thing with Chicago Hope.
But why wouldn't you just move your family here and do Chicago Hope?
Well, the whole point, the irony was I took the job because I do concerts and films and everything. I was always running around. And I wanted to be in one place for 5 years while my kids were growing up. And indeed, I was in one place, but it was inside a studio. And if I wasn't in the studio, I was in the hills of L.A. trying to learn the words all week long. So if a soccer game came up on the, on the weekend, I'd be sitting there in a complete anxious wreck trying to learn the words. So it didn't matter whether we were in New York or LA or anywhere. I wouldn't have been there. And
Gotcha.
to bring them all out here and never be there for them would have even been worse. So
So you went home and built some trains in the attic.
you bet.
All right.
And we do that, and it's one of the greatest, I mean, you know, also for families out there looking for things, Neil Young just bought Lionel, the company. And
Let me have you pick up there. I got to do this break, and then Neil Young bought Lionel as well.
we got more commercials?
We have to sell here.
Okay,
And inform.
I guess.
Mandy Patinkin will be at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion December 26th through 28th. The phone is up and running at 800-952-2788. And some of the videos we showed you tonight came from our good friend Tom McComas of TM Books and Videos in Michigan City, Indiana. These are available at most hobby shops across the country. If you'd like more information, simply send me a postcard marked TV Videos, and I'll make sure they get to Tom. We'll be right back after these messages. That one was kind of shaking there.
Yeah,
They do that. They shake once in a while, don't they?
Yeah, they get excited.
You mentioned Neil Young, and by the way, these are Neil's trains that we're showing here tonight
Thank
on the
you,
layout,
Neil.
which he was kind enough to let us play with. Thanks a lot, Neil. And you mentioned that he now has an interest in Lionel trains.
Yes, his son, who was handicapped, he developed this whole new system of remote control.
So the kid could make the trains
So the
work.
kids could make the train works, and there's a big red button for Big Red for even little kids, so that the last function that you tell the remote control to do, whether it's horn or stop or go, is big, huge button, and a little kid can just go like that.
Wham,
and
whammo.
it goes. And it's wonderful. And what he's done for the hobby and what he's doing for it is really going to bring it back to the forefront, because these other guys with Neil that bought the company, they did a lot of research. The other two guys supposedly weren't involved in trains, but they did research and found that so much of the games and everything the kids were playing today were, you know, computer games and everything alone with the machine, and, you know, no interaction. And in terms of family sport, it's longed for by our society today.
Listen, when I was a boy, I mean, I had Lionels, and Bobby had American Flyers, and the kid down the street had Marks, and the two little girls had a Hafner wind-up set. So we were always fiddling around with trains all year round. I mean, Christmas was the big push, but all year round we had we had boxcars.
And you can take your other toys. You can take your Lincoln Logs and your Tinker Toys, and you can build Ferris wheels
right.
and do whatever you want.
That's
and put
right.
it all over the layout.
that's
Make
right.
your whole world.
Let me ask you about your appearance at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion here coming up after Christmas. Is this just you in concert, or are you in a production?
No,
what is it?
that's my concert. What I do
Okay.
when I'm not playing with the trains.
Right. What you do to pay for the trains.
Yes, exactly. Is I go on the road and I do these concerts with my piano player Paul Ford. It's just the two of us on stage. He plays an upright piano, and we sing old standards. It's the words that I care about the most. This is exactly what I wear. There's no set.
You wear that all the time. When you crash Dave with our friend
Yes, and
Tony,
I wear this
you
because
wear that.
I can't stand shopping, and it's a simple uniform, and I don't have to worry. And I buy 12 pairs of pants, 24 T-shirts. I have fresh underwear and a handkerchief, and good clean socks, and that's it.
You're telling me more than I want to know.
Okay. Sorry.
And contrast your appearance and your performance at the Dorothy Chandler as against your first appearance on stage as a singer at the New York Public back in
The Public Theater, when I first did
sang
concerts in '89, it was Joseph Papp that came over for a Shabbos dinner one day.
You know, that's fairly recent, by the way. That's less than 10 years ago.
'89, yeah. It'll be 10 years in '79 that we've started doing this. So it was all new to me. I had never thought about doing this, really. And we made an album, and then we said, now what do we do? Throw the songs away or go out there and do it? And I was a nervous wreck, and I went out and came on stage. I said, I'm a nervous wreck, and some guy yelled out, just relax. And I had the time of my life from that day forth. And it's my favorite thing that I do of anything I do. And I thank God that I'm able to do it.
Even more favorite than Evita. You know, I saw you in New York in Evita, for which you won the Tony Award.
Yes.
You played Che Guevara opposite Patti LuPone
Yes,
in the title role.
Yes, and that was in '79, right. And being on the boards is my favorite thing, with the audience live. There's nothing like it to me. But in terms of the nature of performing, the kind of performing I like the best is the concert venue, because it's all, anything goes, there's no rules, there's no structure. Just from the minute a song starts to the minute that song's over, that's all that exists. And there's no planned pattern. Everything I do just comes out of whatever's going on. And I'm allowed to choose from that endless reservoir of material written by geniuses that are out there, that I can't write that stuff, and they write thoughts that I want to put in front of my head every day. And I get to pick them, and I get to be the mailman. So it's a real privilege.
What's not to like, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
Happy holidays, my friend. Thanks for the toy.
Thank you.
Thanks to Neil Young for the train.